What's up, YouTube? This is CJ.
And Sarah.
It's a Wednesday, and that means it's time for another Keto
Conversations.
So let's get started. So this week, we're going to kind of revisit a topic that we've actually got a video kind of about this topic
Year ago.
A
little more than a year ago.
Oh yeah, year and a half ago. It's called Fat Eyes, I believe is what that's part of the title. I don't think that's all it's called though.
No.
But it's essentially, the conversation is about body image and how you see yourself even on your keto journey. And so we wanted to kind of revisit this because we think it's kind of an important topic, but we think it's an important topic. And it's something that we
something that doesn't often get discussed.
Yeah. So I'm actually going to let you do a lot of the leading tonight.
Okay.
And I'm going to kind of just throw in things. We have talked about this extensively off camera, and so we'll see where we go with this. And we do have just some stuff scribbled out.
A mind map.
What do you think is important, and why is it important?
I think it's important because not just on the ketogenic diet, but of course when you begin a new weight loss journey, a new way of eating, a new way of life, sometimes old feelings can come up, feelings of self-image and self-worth. And also what we plan on discussing tonight is also how sometimes we cannot see the changes in ourselves that maybe others can.
Yeah, and that's where so the term fat eyes, when we say that, it's about how you can have lost a lot of weight or made significant changes because of keto, but still in your mind,
when you look in the mirror,
all you see is the person you saw before.
Right.
And so that's where the term fat eyes came from. So when we say that, it's not a negative thing. It's actually just kind of what we call, condition or just a state of mind.
Yes.
That people... that we all often may find ourselves in, because I've been there before too. So
well, and sometimes we have unrealistic expectations of ourselves, and sometimes it can be difficult. I think part of the reason why CJ is having me lead this conversation is because it can generally be a more common topic for women than for men. I'm not saying that men don't ever have these feelings or have this syndrome where we look at ourselves in the mirror and we don't see the changes that we've made. But I think that there's a lot more societal pressure sometimes for women to look a certain way or to be a certain size or a certain standard. I think that, the beauty industry has really preyed upon the insecurities of women and, made us set up to perhaps be a certain way that is not attainable, is not realistic, or not practical. And so I think sometimes, we are, we fall victim to that a little bit more than men do, simply because of things like advertising. And of course, there's way more women's magazines than there are men's magazines.
Yeah. And as I mentioned to you the other day, I look in the mirror. I've lost probably, and you've been telling people I've lost like 90 pounds. I haven't lost.
Okay,
90
I've lost.
You've
90
lost
pounds.
90 pounds. I haven't lost 90 pounds.
Okay.
I've lost at the most 70 pounds.
Okay.
And so, but I still look in the mirror, and there's times when I see myself, and I don't care for what I see, as far as I'm not done or feel like I'm where I need to be. But I can do that and move on from it and go on to something else. I don't compare myself to anybody, any famous.
I think it's less.
So
I think comparisons are less likely for men.
Yeah, it may be more of a. Yeah, it may be something that's different for the sexes, because again, I can do that but I'm not comparing myself to anybody. It's just, I know,
and that's very healthy.
I know
that is
I know there's things I need to work on, but I also know, I guess, and this is not in our notes, but when it's time for you to change and you're ready to change, you will change. And so I know that a lot of times when I look in the mirror, it's all in my control. It's just, okay, are you ready to move past where you are right now? So anyway.
But do you think that people ever look at you and think, he's doing keto and he's not like super skinny or fit?
I'm sure.
I mean, I think that can be something in this lifestyle, especially because we get a little bit more judgment because of because we're eating a high fat diet.
Right, people, so keto has become a thing, a real thing, and you can hardly go anywhere without somebody knowing. People at least know what keto is.
Yeah,
it's interesting. I went to a class the other day where we were talking about biases that we all have, and how a lot of times you don't know that you have different biases toward people or things or whatever. And one of the things that was funny was somebody told a story about how someone else, this wasn't me, someone had lost a lot of weight, and all of a sudden managers thought he looked like they were smarter all of a sudden, and the person was no smarter than they
Actually,
were.
their head had probably shrunk.
They were no smarter than they were before.
Yeah, suddenly their brain was
Nothing
bigger.
had changed except they had lost a lot of weight. And I was at the table. I was like, well, and then they were talking about the guy should be promoted and all this stuff. And I said, well, I've lost a lot of weight. Nobody's promoted me.
Where's my promotion?
But I think society, as keto becomes a more and more of a bigger thing, again, in our society, we have been kind of programmed to think that you got to look a certain way, and if you're doing any kind of, I'm not just going to say keto, but if you're doing any kind of diet, that you need to be, thin, and you need to look, you need to be
abs and
right that
show
right. We've got, so we've got all these pictures in our mind, and again, since keto is the big thing now, even more and more people as they come into keto. You see on social media, there's people that are bashing people on keto, saying, hey, well, if you don't look like this, somehow
then keto has not been a success.
Then keto hasn't been successful. Then that somehow you're doing keto wrong. And, and to that,
Jimmy Moore faces that.
Yeah, and to that message, it's like, bull crap.
Well, and I think social media, it's more difficult sometimes when you are on social media. Yeah. And of course, it's a choice that we've made to put ourselves out there. But I do think that sometimes you put more pressure on yourself if you're in the public eye and you have people watching you, have people watching your content. Well, I think sometimes, and I'm not saying that y'all do that to me. I'm saying I do that to me. Well, but we've had comments where people insinuate, well, wow, you're still fat, you're still whatever. Or they criticize your physical appearance.
Right, they criticize your physical appearance, but then it's kind of like, in my mind, it's like, well, who are you to judge me? Because these standards that we have been kind of brought up with.
And it's who sets the standards.
Right, it's just some fictional thing, and to be honest with you, it's all related to money. Yeah. It's all related to selling some kind of product, selling some kind of dream that, you're going to look a certain way if you do this, if you buy this product, you're going to have this, you get this gadget, you're going to lose all this weight,
you're
do all
lose
this
your
stuff.
Cellulite, you're going to use everything.
But it's all geared toward some, not saying that it's unattainable, but it's something that's probably unrealistic for people.
It is.
And so again, it's easy to kind of fall into that, where you're comparing yourself to other images or images that you've seen.
Well, and sometimes we even just compare ourselves to images of the way we used to be. Maybe we compare ourselves to images of us from our young adulthood or from high school or something like that. So sometimes it can just be images that we have of ourselves, And then, coupled with the fact that a lot of times people have had traumatic relationships in their lives. They've been in abusive relationships. Right. That have torn down their self-worth because whomever they were with, and it wouldn't have to just be, man-women relationships. Sometimes it can be other people you've had in your lives, family members, parents, siblings, that kind of thing, where they have torn down your self-esteem in a certain way, especially related to your body image. A lot of times that works very well if somebody, calls you fat or ugly or whatever. That can be, a really effective tool for them. So I think sometimes people come from that form of abuse, and it's hard to get out of thinking that way about yourself because you were that was fed to you. So that can be difficult sometimes as well.
Yeah, it can be. And I was trying to think, and when I grew up, there was a period of time where I was back in the day, they used to have husky size. So I used to wear husky size boys' clothes. And then I sprouted up, got tall. In high school, I was tall. In the military, I was tall. I mean, well, I'm still the same height, but I was slender. And then I gained weight primarily when I got married. I gained weight and got,
most people do.
You know, got jobs and desk jobs, and then so I started gaining weight. But you know, I have pictures from back in the day. In fact, I have a picture in the bathroom from another time when I lost a lot of weight, doing something totally different. And I look at that picture, and I remember that picture. I remember where it was. I remember how I looked. I remember the size clothes that I wore. But it is something that I'm shooting for. But I guess my perspective is that I am not unhappy because I'm not there yet. I am okay with, again, I've lost 70 plus pounds, and I'm okay with that. And the other day it occurred to me that, okay, well, if you want to move forward, you're probably going to have to get uncomfortable where you are now so you can move forward.
Right. Sometimes you have to push more.
Right, because if I want to push more to do more, then I'm going to have to, you know, do something different, track my macros more, or maybe do more intermittent fasting, or maybe some extended day fasting. Not because, you know, just because if I want to go to the next level,
right,
if I want to get to that picture that I see in my bathroom every day, then I'm going to have to do more than I'm doing.
And then there's me. I have lost 90 pounds, and I am now the weight I was when I was 20 years old. But that then brings up other feelings, because you kind of don't know where to go from here. Should you be done? And you also, once again, are working with managing your expectations, because I'm 25 years older. So your body doesn't look the same. I've had 3 children. I've lost a significant amount of weight multiple times. I'm just older. And so sometimes you go through some issues with self-image just based on growing older and the way your body changes. And so sometimes those also have to be managed. So that's another side point.
Okay. I'm not really sure what to say. I'm not really sure what to say about all that. Not trying to make light of it, but I do think that maybe it's a little bit more complicated for a woman.
I think it most definitely is.
I haven't had children, can't, so.
Well, you have children, you just didn't give birth to them.
Give birth to them, and so I don't know anything about that. I'm older than I used to be. I don't look the same when I weighed what I weigh now, or wearing the sizes. But again, I don't know. I don't dwell there, and again, I don't know. Maybe that's just the difference between men and women.
I think it is.
I don't. You know, if I think about men's, I don't know, beauty products or whatever.
There's not much.
There is
Axe, maybe.
I don't know. That's some made up stuff that some company came up with trying to market stuff to men.
But that's what I'm saying is there's not an awful lot marketed.
You know, I think, you know, there used to be stuff about gray hair, and they tried to market
just
that
for men.
For men, and they tried to market that. And you know, I think probably most men don't even give a rat's.
They don't care if they have gray hair.
They don't care. I mean, yeah, I get gray hair now, and I cut it out.
So maybe you
but
care.
But at some point, it's probably going to be more gray than black.
Right.
And I'm not going to probably go out and.
So do you think this is more about acceptance than anything else?
Well, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you know, like we were talking about, I don't know the stuff that has happened to us in the past. It happened, and it was not good. We deal with it, but I'm always to the point where it's like, well, when do you let it go?
Right.
I'm just saying you in general.
Right.
When do you let it go? Because, you know, I told somebody before that a friend of mine, I said, hey, you know, yes, you were abused when you were a child. Yes, these things happen to you. But, if you think about it, those people are either dead or they've gone on about their business. But you're still living.
They're not thinking about you.
You're still living through that hell that they helped put you in over and over again. And so in some ways, they're still controlling you.
Right.
And again, they're not thinking about you. They're not. Some of them not even around in this person's situation.
Right.
And it's kind of like, I don't know. I'm not saying that this is an easy thing. Your self-image is an easy thing to deal with.
No.
But I think it's something that, to be aware of. But at what point do you get tired of feeling the way you feel and then decide to, I don't know, do whatever little things you can do.
And it's not one of those things where you're like, okay, I've decided I don't want to care about this anymore. I'm done. It is going to be a process. But I guess if you continue to work on it and move forward, that is the best idea.
I think that's the best idea, but I think people need to be realistic. Again, a lot of us, who started keto, some of us weighed a whole lot. We were big when we started, and we've had a lot of success, but we're kind of stuck in this image that we're seeing from the past,
or that we're supposed to look a certain way because we.
And I've said this before, I think it's just important for you to celebrate where you are and the progress that you made. Because if you keep looking backwards,
right,
then
you're going to miss out enjoying where you are right now.
Where you are. Enjoy that you can wear new clothes. I know sometimes, to be honest with you, sometimes that's a pain in the butt that you got to keep getting new clothes because you're losing
Buy
sizes.
Discount because it will change quickly.
You're losing weight so fast, or your sizes are changing so fast. But but if you keep looking backwards, you're not going to enjoy where you are. Give yourself some credit. You've come a long way. You're not the way you used to look a long time ago.
It's true. If you keep looking in the rearview mirror, you're going to miss what's out the windshield.
It's just like if you're walking down the street and you turn around and look backwards and you run into like
a lamppost. People are texting while they're walking.
Right, and then you run into a lamppost or light post. I mean, why'd you do it? Because you were looking backwards. Yeah. And a lot of us, that's how we kind of live our life. We look backwards. We keep looking in the past, and there's absolutely nothing we can do about the past.
No.
I mean,
so I guess that's probably why we wanted to talk about this. Not that there's necessarily an answer to this discussion, but I think sometimes this is one of those things that doesn't get discussed. When you begin a new way of life, sometimes things like this don't often get discussed because, people don't, maybe they have these feelings, but they don't talk about them. Yeah. It's one of those things where they feel bad about themselves and then they feel bad for feeling bad. So we just kind of wanted to have an honest, open discussion and let you all know that we have these feelings too, and that it's normal. And if we can help each other and be kind, that's going to be the best possible scenario.
Yeah. And I think it's, we can be kind to each other, but I think you need to learn how to be kind to yourself.
Right.
Don't beat yourself up. Even if you don't do well on keto for 1 day or 2 days or a week, don't beat yourself up. Mm-hmm. Just get back up and start again, or pick up where you left off or whatever, because that's what a lot of us don't do well. I don't think a lot of us do is we're not kind to ourselves.
No.
And I don't know. I got to the point. I don't know when it happened. Maybe when I turned 50. I got to the point where it's like, you know what? I am who I am right now. Mm-hmm. And there is nothing I can do about the failures I've had before. I'm not, I do want to change. There's things I want to change. There's things I want to strive, to become and be better and do things, all that. But, I mean, really, I'm who I am. Mm-hmm. And all this stuff that's happened has happened for a reason, and they've made me who I am today. And so I guess on some of these long photography journeys I used to take, I kind of came to the realization that I'm okay. I'm okay just like I am. You know, I ain't perfect.
No.
But I'm still okay.
And your personality is who you should be.
Right.
Everything about you is who you should be. If others don't understand it,
that's their
too
problem.
bad.
It's not my problem.
We're all different.
I'm okay. And I think when we get to the point where you can accept who you are, accept how you look today.
And it's okay to be you.
Yeah, and it's okay. You know, if you still got some stuff to lose, make it look good.
Yep, be it.
Make it look good and stretch your stuff.
Only you know where you've been and where you're going.
Yeah. So what else? Anything else we want to talk about?
I think that's it.
Really?
Yeah.
If you're new here, this is our Keto Conversation segment. We normally have these, we do different kinds of segments. We do some product reviews once a month, and but this is where we get together and just talk about topics that we think are relevant to the keto community.
Yeah.
This one's probably maybe a little bit broader, not just for keto.
It's not just for keto. This is for anybody.
But for anybody
who's on a journey, a weight loss journey.
Yeah.
A health journey. Any time that you are changing your body and trying to come to grips with the changes that happen when you're changing your lifestyle.
Yeah. So this is our Keto Conversation segment. We do these every Wednesday. We do new recipes every Sunday. And we'd love to have you come back and be part of our ketogenic family.
And if you want to talk about your feelings, your ideas of self-worth, things that you've done, experiences you've been through, we're always happy to have a sharing in the collective brain, if you will, in the comment section. So
sure.
Feel free to share.
Sure, yeah, we learn a lot from people's comments. We get ideas from people's comments, so we actually do read them. We try to respond to as many as we can, and because we are trying to build a community of people that are helping each other be successful on keto. So consider subscribing, and hopefully we'll see you back next week. Have a great rest of the week, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Peace.
Peace.